Hello, beautiful mamas, and welcome to the Unstoppable Mom Summit, where we help you break free, step up, and thrive because it's all about you. When you take care of you, I believe that you are able to take care of your families. So, today I have a very special guest with me today. She has been doing some marvelous things, not only in her own life, but also in her family's life. But she's been able to do that and help thousands of people, I'm sure, but because she decided to put herself first. So she is going to come before us and tell us a little bit about herself. So today we have Miss Andrea Mathis, but you can call her Andy. All her friends know her as Andy. So today you are a friend. Let's get right into it. Hello, Andy.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Thank you. So I'm so excited to just kind of tell a little bit of my story and kind of like how things happen. First, I'm a registered dietitian. So I started out as, working in the clinical setting. So I would work like in the hospital. I also worked in public health. So I worked with the health department. And then I worked in long-term care before doing the content creation full time. But I worked there and I stayed there for maybe about 8 years or so. So that was like one of my longer jobs. And while staying there, I knew that I didn't want to stay there forever. Like I knew I didn't want to retire there, but it was a good place for me to be at the time. So after I had my kids, after I got married, I just kind of wanted something else. I felt like I was meant to do something else. I didn't know exactly what. I just knew that my current job wasn't it. And so, I started looking for part-time jobs. I was like, well, maybe I can work part-time so I can focus more on my family and do that. And I interviewed for so many part-time jobs. And I knew that I was qualified because I was the director of the nutrition department in my current job. And these were just basic dietitian positions at the hospital, but I did not get any of those positions. They didn't want to hire me. It was like, no, we went with someone else. And I guess that was a sign that I didn't need to go in that direction. So I started on my blog and well, first I started posting recipes on social media and people were asking, did I have a blog? And I was like, no, I don't have a blog. I don't even know what that is. Like, what are you talking about? And so I ended up getting my website together and posting on the blog, posting all my recipes. And within a year of doing that, I was able to quit that full time job and pursue the content creation and doing what I love full time. Yeah. And it happened. I didn't plan for it. Like it really fell into my lap. So that's how I knew it was something that was meant for me to do.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful because so many times as moms, we struggle trying to do all the things, take care
Right.
of the entire family, go and work. Because how else do you take care of a family? You especially like even if you're married, you still
Mhm.
feel like you have a financial obligation to your family. So you're trying to
Right.
always figure those things out. So I
Mhm.
love the fact that you decided, hey, if this isn't working, that doesn't
Right.
mean I'm a failure. That means I need to try something different.
Exactly. That's yeah. Because I was really puzzled. I was like, why am I not getting a part-time job that I know that I'm qualified for? But I had to step back and just realize sometimes when you don't get the things that you think that you should be getting, it's probably not meant for you. It's probably not your path. So,
Oh, that's
mhm.
so good. Oh my gosh, that's so good because I have a lot of moms come to me for coaching, and one of the things they're always looking for like their purpose. And
Mhm.
when you said path, it reminded me of that. And I always think to myself, no, it's not your purpose that you're really looking for. You're trying to find you. And I believe that oftentimes in jobs as well, I feel like we think or we make those jobs like they're us, like they're a part of
Right.
us, but they're not. They're not a
Exactly.
part of us. They're not a part of our identity. So, like you did, you went and you found your identity. You found your space.
Right.
You had self discovery moments that brought you to here. So I think that's beautiful.
Mhm. Thank you.
So let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this
Okay.
because I believe this is going to be beautiful. So
Okay.
I want to ask this. We're going to start with the title because the title of today's episode is one of my favorites. Eat like you
Mhm.
love yourself.
I
Everyday
love that.
nutrition for moms who put themselves back on the list.
Yes.
Because too often we take ourselves off the list, right?
hmm That is so,
So
and I
my
love
question.
that title.
No, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying how I love that title because the title in itself it has so much meaning. So I love that. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to know what you think about this. What does it mean to eat like you love yourself? And where did this idea, like, how does this idea help shape what you do?
Well, it's so important, and I know for me as a mom, it took a minute to realize that I probably wasn't eating like I was loving myself because I was eating, I was feeding my family, but a lot of times I would always feed my family first. Whatever they wanted to eat, I'm cooking for them, and I would, especially when they were toddlers, I would just like eat their leftover pieces of a sandwich. Like if I fix a sandwich and they didn't finish it, I'm eating the leftovers. I was always eating leftovers, as a part because I was like, I don't want to waste the food for one. But then, I was like, I don't need much. I don't need anything. It's about what they want and their happiness, which is good. Of course, keep your family in mind. But I wasn't thinking like, okay, well, what do I like to eat? Even when grocery shopping, I would always get what my husband wants, what my kids want. I wouldn't put things on the grocery list that I liked, because I wasn't thinking about myself, and I just kind of had to reshape that thinking to be like, okay, you also deserve to be on that grocery list too. Yeah, but it took a minute though.
That is so good because I know there are a lot of moms out there who literally can resonate with that right now. We're eating the leftovers and probably some dads too, but we're eating
Uh-huh.
the leftovers. Everything on the list is about the kids, and then we're like the last person we think about. And normally, when we think about ourselves is normally when we realize there's nothing in the house for us.
Right,
there's
right.
there's nothing for us. It's all about the kids. I love that.
Yes.
So here is the next one. So most moms are always feeding others, even if it's not our kids or our spouses, we're feeding someone else. So
Yeah.
why do you think it's so easy for moms to forget themselves when it comes to meals, snacks, or even hydration?
I think it's because naturally we kind of want to nurture everyone, checking in, making sure everyone is okay, make sure everyone is taken care of. And I would tell myself, well, that makes me feel okay. That makes me feel nurtured and taken care of, which is a part of it, but it shouldn't be the entire part of it because I was like, okay, no, my kids are good. No, my husband's good. Okay, I'm good. Okay, yes, I am good in one sense, but what about like my actual, physical, mental well-being? Like, am I hydrated? Am I hungry? Have I eaten today? There have been so many times where I have like worked so hard and done so many things, and I'd be like, oh, I haven't eaten dinner, I haven't eaten lunch, I haven't eaten breakfast, and just because my mind isn't thinking about that, and I just think it's so easy to do that as moms, especially when you just care about everybody. You want everybody to be happy. So it's so easy to slip into that.
Oh my gosh. First off, thank you for saying that last part about how it's so easy to slip into
Yes,
it. And because we should never feel guilty for slipping into something like that, because I believe we are hardwired to care
yes,
for others like that.
right.
I really believe that. So thank you for that.
Mhm.
So now we want to do a little flipping of the script. We're going to flip the
Okay.
script a little bit. So I want to know, how can eating for us moms be more than just survival?
Mhm. I think it's important to understand that it's okay to enjoy eating and to enjoy your food. Especially me since I've been on like a weight loss journey forever, and I trained myself not to, I guess, tie too many feelings with food, like not to enjoy it because if you enjoy it too much, maybe you may overeat. So I think it's just learning that it's okay to be happy if you're eating something that you enjoy. It's okay to feel comfort, sometimes that nostalgic feeling. All those feelings are okay. And I think it's giving ourselves permission to feel those things is important.
Ooh, that is so good. Oh my gosh, because a lot of us do get so tied up in the emotions around our food. And the fact that
Right.
you just said, just let yourself be happy. Like, so when I go downstairs and eat that piece of chocolate cake I just made, I can go down there and be happy. I can eat it happily. Not every day, of course, but I
Right.
can do that happily. I love that. I
Yes.
love that. So let me ask this question. Because we're able to do this more than just survival, how can that actually become a way for us to practice like self-love and self-leadership?
Again, I guess just realizing that it's okay to enjoy those foods, to enjoy things that we love, and not feel guilty about it. You know, sometimes if you feel like you're taking a moment for yourself to enjoy something, you kind of feel guilt associated with it because maybe it doesn't include your kids, maybe it doesn't include the rest of your family, it just includes you. And I think it's so important to remember that that is okay and to not feel that guilt or shame that may come with that. So I think that that's an important step that'll kind of lead you in that right direction.
So I have another question to kind of, and this one just came in my head.
Yeah.
So a lot of moms probably, this is something that they do as well, I'm sure. But you know how kids can hear certain bags and we open them to eat. You know how
Yeah.
sometimes we make, like me, for example, I'll
Uh-huh.
fix myself something and I'll go in the pantry and close the door. So that I can eat it without them running behind me. And it's like, well, is that, should I feel guilty for that? Should I not? Like, how, what would you, or with my babies, like when they used to take naps and they were young enough to have naps, I would sit there and eat ice cream while they're sleeping, stuff like
Right.
that.
It was sad is that I still do that. Okay, because I have boys and I have mine are 8 and 10. So there are moments that I will do that, and it's not. And I did feel bad, but it's not necessarily that I'm trying to be mean or hide things. Sometimes I truly want a peaceful moment to enjoy things, and and they make fun of me because like sometimes I just want silence because my house is always so loud. So I just want silence just to sit there and maybe eat a dessert without talking. I just want silence. And that's why I told someone, I said, my best times are sitting in that car line because I have to sit in the car line to pick up my kids. And I sit there and I have no music on. It's just complete silence. And I will get my favorite snack or dessert and just enjoy that moment because it's just enjoying and it's okay to do that. And I feel like we shouldn't have to hide, but I wouldn't look at it as hiding. I would look at it as just trying to find those little moments of peace throughout your day. And maybe even explain that to your kids. I've had to explain that to them before, like, mommy just wants a little peace. I just want a little quiet time. And then I try to explain it so they can understand, like, remember when you're playing your game or you're watching your favorite show, you want that time so that you can watch that. And they're like, yeah, that's true. So I'm like, sometimes I want that too.
I thank you for that perspective because
Yeah.
that was big for me. Because like you said, like we have younger kids, like mine are 11, 8, and 6.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it gets a little rowdy around here. And sometimes I just want a moment. And yes,
Right.
those the car line pickup times are normally the best times because, like you
Yeah.
said, it can be quiet because people forget that there's so much overstimulation. Moms get overstimulated. I'm not angry. I'm not aggressive. I'm just overstimulated sometimes.
Right. Exactly.
So thank you for that. So
Mhm.
the next one, first off, I want to remind moms that self-love does not mean perfection. So what I want
Right.
to ask you is what are some small, realistic eating habits that moms can pretty much build, even if they're short on time, energy, or mental bandwidth?
Right. I would say I used to plan like meal prep a lot when I had my younger kids. I kind of got away from that, but now I'm starting to do it a little bit more. And it's not a full on meal prep. Like I'm not prepping every meal, but I'm prepping kind of more so for myself. Sometimes I'll prep for the kids, but for me, breakfast is a big thing. I try to make sure I at least get breakfast because that sets the tone for the rest of my day. So I've started like prepping these little yogurt parfaits, and I would just put some yogurt in like some little containers, top it with fruit, granola, and I have those little cups in my fridge. So I know that when I open the refrigerator, like that's my breakfast. I know to take that. It's already made, no stress. And I do that to, just kind of set the tone, but to also make sure that I'm taking care of myself by prioritizing that. I'm so sorry. That's
I
my
love
dog.
it. We love it.
You
I
see,
love it. You're a doggy mama.
yes,
No, but
but
he's fine. Just like you are a mom to kids, you're a mom to a dog. And I'm sure there
yeah.
are probably some dog mommies out here too. So the next one I have for you, back on the list, doesn't mean bottom of the list because sometimes
Right.
we'll take ourselves off that list to take care of our families. But when we put ourselves back on, oftentimes we put ourselves on the very bottom of the list. So I want
Right.
to ask you, how can moms prioritize their nourishment without feeling like they're taking away from their family?
Yes, I would. Yeah, you're so right because like when you think, okay, I'm putting myself back on the list, but you're actually still you're at the bottom, but you're thinking that's okay because you're on the list some kind of way. I would say like it's just the things that you would say to your kids or maybe to your husband, like to your family, say those things to yourself because when I was asking them, like, what do you want from the grocery store? What do you want me to fix for you? I was like, ask yourself that. Like, self, what do you want from the grocery store? What do you want for dinner? And kind of reframe that internal conversation to ask yourself those questions to make sure that you're also a priority. And it takes a moment to get there. I know for me, I'm just now learning how to do that. And then my son will ask me if I'm like, well, what do y'all want to eat for dinner? He's like, well, mommy, what do you want? And it shocks me sometimes. And I'm just like, like what? Like y'all just want to eat what I want to eat. But yeah, making yourself a priority.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm gonna have to start using that because
Yeah.
like nowadays I kind of do that, but not to that extent. I never really ask myself. I'll just think about it a little bit, but actually
Right.
prioritizing myself. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I love that. Ask
Yeah.
yourself, mamas, I'm gonna say this again for those who didn't hear it.
Yes.
Ask yourself what you want to eat. Ask yourself what you need when you
Mhm.
go to the store, just like you ask your family.
Exactly.
That is beautiful. Thank you for that. So let's make it a little more real. Can you
Okay.
walk us through a simple, mom friendly meal or snack idea that feels like an act of love and not just an obligation?
Well, I think when I'm making myself lunch, because like I said, a lot of times before it was leftovers, like leftovers from whatever I would prepare the kids. That's when they were younger. But now that they're in school, I have that time because I work from home. So I really try to, I don't know if you've seen a trend on TikTok. There people are romanticizing their lives. Like they're really like taking little everyday moments and making them special. So I like when I make myself a lunch, I try to either turn to my favorite show. I have audiobooks, I have music, and like I'm, really preparing myself a meal, but I'm also creating the atmosphere of peace. It's all about me at that moment. And I've really been enjoying that because it just kind of puts me back up there on the list somewhere and it feels like I'm doing something for me. But yeah, that's something, little moments in your life, don't feel guilty about like romanticizing those or making those special.
I love that because oftentimes when we think about ourselves when it comes to us doing this, it's
Right.
almost like when we do it for others, we love
Yeah.
to do that. We get to do that. But
Yeah.
when it comes to us, it's like, oh, I have to feed myself. Oh, I have to eat breakfast. I have no, we
Right.
get to. I get to
Yes.
treat
I love
myself. Oh,
that. Mhm.
that's good. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So here's the part where a lot of us get stuck. So many moms, including I did for a while, carry food shame or
Yeah.
shoulds or shoulda, coulda,
Mhm.
wouldas around food. But how do you think we can unlearn the guilt and start trusting ourselves around food again?
That's a tough one. That's something that I think a lot of people struggle with, and I think the most important thing I had to tell some of my clients when I would talk to them about this is just remembering that food has no moral value. So I would look at a salad and be like, oh, I'm good today because I'm eating a salad. Or if you eat like cookies or cake, oh, I'm being bad because I'm eating that. And I feel like once you tie those feelings to certain foods, and that's where the shame and the guilt comes in. So I feel like if we remove that and just look at food is food, no matter what it is, no matter what choice, I think that will help kind of take away some of that guilt and shame when we start nourishing our bodies.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Remove the feelings from the food. Take the
right.
feelings away from the food. Oh my
Food is
gosh.
food. Hmm.
That is so good because I swear I already feel bad about going down there to get me a piece of chocolate.
Yes, it don't feel bad.
Thank you for that. I'm like, because I don't need it, but I made it because I had some hot cocoa from Christmas from the Christmas season, and it had like peppermint in it. It's like a peppermint hot cocoa, and I didn't want it to go bad. And because I like to bake, I said, "Oh, I can just make this into some icing." some,
Right.
chocolate peppermint icing. So I said, let me go ahead and fix this. It doesn't go bad till September, but because I wanted something sweet now, I
Yeah.
decided to go ahead and do it. And also because it was on my mind, because otherwise I'm going to throw it away. By the
Yes.
time I see it again, will probably be October.
Mhm. And there's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy that piece of cake because you're not eating cake all day, every meal of the day. So we have to tell ourselves that too. It's okay to enjoy it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Because see, my family, we have technically 2 dessert days every
Mhm.
week, which I think is plenty.
Yes.
Because for one, my kids, they often get treats in school.
Uh-huh.
Incentives at school normally means candy,
Right.
most of them. And then when they have snacks, the snacks that we are buying most of the time that the kids like to eat are also full of sugar, even sometimes at breakfast. And I hate to buy cereal for them because cereal to me is like dessert for breakfast.
Yeah, especially it depends on what kind you get, because and typically most kids want the sugary kinds that have all the fun stuff in it. So yeah,
The Lucky Charms, the Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows, the
yeah,
Captain Crunch.
mhm, yes.
They do. But
Mhm,
let me take this off me and bring it back to my mom's. So what would you say to the mom who's tired, overwhelmed,
mhm.
and feels like there's no point in trying now? Like what's one gentle step that she can take today to start loving herself through food again?
I would say to take it one step at a time and to give yourself grace. A lot of times when we try to go towards like improving ourselves, our lives, we have this big list and it's overwhelming because you're listing everything that you want to change, everything that you want to do. And we think we have to get it done at once. We think we have to get it done within a couple of days, a week. But that stuff, it takes time. It takes time. So you have to give yourself grace and to maybe focus on one step at a time. That could be just waking up. And I posted about this, was it yesterday or the day before? Like telling your body, thank you. Thank you for waking me up this morning, allowing me to prepare breakfast, allowing me to go to work. Those small little steps that you take every day can push you towards that point.
Ooh, that
Mhm.
is look, that is beautiful. Give yourself grace. Like that's the biggest thing because we're so quick to give our
Yes.
kids grace, to give our spouses grace, our significant others, and we forget that we need a little grace too. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Mhm.
Give yourself grace
Yes.
through the
And
food. And thank you for helping me take that guilt away about going
yeah,
down there and eating me a slice of cake.
great.
I'm gonna give myself grace on that one. So the next one is eating like you love yourself can change your whole life. And with this, I want to know what changes have you seen in yourself or your clients or even people who've reached out to you on social media or your blog about what you're doing and how you're helping them. Um, like what are those things you've seen that started truly hold on, I can't even read this correctly. Pardon
Uh,
me. So what changes have you seen in yourself or your clients when they started truly nourishing their bodies with love and intention?
um, I think the shift that I see because when you truly love yourself, you're gonna try to treat yourself the best. You're gonna nourish your body with the best foods, and I talk openly about like before when I was really deep in diet culture and I was trying so many different diets, and from the outside people thought I loved myself because I was in a smaller body,
Mhm.
but I was like that was the time where I didn't because I restricted so much food. So I wasn't eating like I love myself because I would ignore my hunger signals. I would eat foods I didn't like just to stay a certain size. But now when you love your body, you're going to be intentional about the foods that you put into your body. Like you're going to choose nutrient dense foods. You may choose that cake, but you're also going to be intentional about other foods that may give you those nutrients that you know your body needs. And that's how I look at food now. I want to nourish my body. I want to because I care for it so much now.
That is so beautiful. That's so beautiful. It's so funny because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day and I was telling her that I love salad. Her and my other friends, they know that I love salad and I like to salad prep. But one of the things I really love doing is making my own salad dressing because I
Mhm.
know about how good the ingredients that I put in there are good for my body. And
Mhm.
so I do that. But then I also told them, I was like, people who know me probably don't even know that I like salads because they see me baking all these cakes and eating all these cakes. But I like
Yeah.
how you said, like feeding your body things that are good for it.
Mhm.
and having those other things that you like are still
Right.
good, you know? Oh,
Yes.
that's good. Oh my gosh. So first off, thank you for being a part of this. This has been very insightful for me, and I'm sure that it's been insightful for the moms who are watching or listening to this. And what I want to know is how can our listeners, our viewers, how can they stay connected to you and continue learning from your wisdom? Because you have so much. I thank you for it.
Mm. Well, they can follow me. I have a website, beautifuleatsandthings.com. So follow me on my website, all the social media channels, Beautiful Eats and Things. They can also, when they go to my website, beautifuleatsandthings.com, I have a free healthy one pot cookbook that you can get. And then you can sign up for that. I also have Beautifully Social, which is a social media course that I have. If you're interested in branding yourself and trying to take social media to the next level to maybe even make it as another source of income, I do have a course for that, and I'm offering a freebie with that as well. So please view the site. You can visit Beautifully Social. If you go to beautifuleatsandthings.com, you'll see that on my main site, and it'll take you to the Beautifully Social website. So lots of things, lots of ways to connect.
I love it. Yes, Beautiful Eats and Things, you all. She has some very good stuff on her website. And not even that, she didn't talk about a book she has. She has a book on Amazon that has some really good smoothie recipes that actually
Mhm.
taste good and have good stuff in them.
Yes, that one.
With
Yeah,
her thing.
mhm. I did that one a couple of years ago, and it's still kind of been popular on Amazon, and it's one of my over 100 smoothie recipes. So definitely check that one out too.
So I'll make sure to provide a link up under here so that they can see that and they'll be able to click on that and get that book if they want it. So beautiful eats and things and beautifully social.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so look, thank you again for being a part of this. And moms, don't forget, go and follow Andy. She's our friend now. She's our bestie now. Go follow her, especially if food has been your vice. If food has been your vice, or you're trying to develop a better relationship with it, I'm telling you, the things that she shares, they are very practical. They can actually work for you and your family. So yeah, go follow her. And Andy, thank you so much again for being a part of this.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
And beautiful mamas, I will see you in the next episode. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, morning, wherever you are. And remember that I, the unprofessional mom, I love you to life. See y'all next time.